come design with me. This is a new series where I'm going to talk to you as if you're a designer that I'm working with developing one of these products. So let's build this thing. Okay, so this is for a kratky vessel using a downspout. Now I got this idea from Mike Van Doozy at Keep On Growing, and I love it. So these downspouts, I bought this at Home Depot. It comes in 10 feet long, and it's like $16, $17 for the 10 feet of it. But you can cut it to whatever length you want. And then Mike has been melting these with a heat gun and folding it up inside here so you don't need an end cap. And then it's just not airtight, so you never overfill it. But recently he started printing or CNCing end caps for these. And I'm trying to develop a good end cap that's going to be, fit really tightly. So it's not quite perfect. And the problems I keep having is when I use this silicone caulk that I have here, I've been using this stuff because it's so easy to work with. But when I caulk this, I'll spring a leak somewhere usually. And so I need, it hasn't been, and sometimes it's just a little tiny leak, but I don't want it can't leak obviously at all. It needs to be totally sealed. And then we drill the holes in the top here. So here's a few different iterations of these end caps that we could do. This is probably the easiest solution. I think this is what Mike Van Doozy and the people he's working with are doing. They're just CNC milling out with the CNC machine out of a block. I think they might be using vinyl. It could be other things that we're using too. Maybe it could be wood that's been sealed with some sort of polyurethane. But this creates a channel where it's a lot easier for it to be sealed all the way. Okay, so we're going to call this idea 1. We're going to call Van Doozy's idea number 2. This is idea number 3. So this would be a combination of using porcelain that I'm familiar with here in the pottery studio and 3D printing. So this would create like a 3D printed channel. This would be a additive production process where we'd 3D print this. And this would be creating a channel like in the block, but it's just the perimeter of, just the profile of the, or I guess the cross section of the downspout. But then inside here is a net pattern. I picture it being like 1 millimeter each, and then just this grid pattern in there. Mainly so we're not using so much 3D printed material, but also so it's easy to stick this to the second piece, which is a piece of porcelain. So this is bone dry porcelain that I've made a cookie cutter to cut these out, and we would basically mount this piece to this with some sort of food safe material. Could be silicone, food grade silicone, or otherwise. Now this will fire non-porous. It's vitrified is what it's called. So it won't have any pores in there. It won't leak at all. And as long as this is secured to this and the downspout fits right in that channel and can be secured tightly, I think this should form a nice, beautiful end cap. And that could be white porcelain. It could be any color that we use for glaze. It could be anything. Okay, that's idea number 3. Idea number 4 is a variation of that one, which basically is just we create a second cookie cutter out of porcelain, slightly smaller than the first, and then when we fire it, this will be one piece of solid porcelain. And this part will be glazed, this will be unglazed, but it won't be porous, and then we just put a little silicone around here. I guess that's idea 4. That's clay on clay. 1/5 option could be just having a piece of some sort of flat substance and CNCing the shape of this shape out of it, and then just putting some silicone around the edge and then just placing it on there. To me, that feels like the worst option, but it is an option. So those are the 5 options. Option 1 is what we got here, silicone here, and then it just mounts to that, and it's airtight, I hope, or watertight. Option 2, I definitely want to explore, which is cutting a channel with the CNC machine, with the new Onefinity CNC machine, cutting a channel into a block of something. Option 3 is putting a 3D printed mesh with a channel that houses the downspout in it and mounting that to a piece of porcelain. And option 4 is putting a porcelain cutout on top of a porcelain cutout where they're stuck together, and having that be the end cap, and then just putting silicone in that channel right there. So let me know in the comments below which one you think has promise. I'd love to hear your ideas, thoughts about this design. We need a lot of downspouts producing a lot of kratky hydroponics. So thanks for watching and keep on learning.